Well, disappointing for us to lose at home. It's magnified because we take such pride in getting to the finish line at home. You know, both ends of the floor. You feel like you did a lot of good things defensively and a lot of nights good enough defensively to get that win. In stretches, you know, played some good basketball against their defensive scheme offensively, but we left a lot of points out there with our double-figure turnovers in the second half. We couldn't, what really hurt is holding them to 10 points in the third quarter, and we couldn't break away because we had so many turnovers in a stretch where I felt like we could extend the lead. So double-figure turnovers in the second half. They were better in big plays down the stretch, getting really determined, getting to the rim. We left points out there for the bad foul shooting night. So that was a game that could play identically the same way, and we just make a couple more plays and we're sitting here a little bit differently. But I liked our fight. I liked our competitiveness more than on some of the road trip. I saw togetherness. I saw a competitiveness that we need to play with in order to win.
JJ just with 5 points tonight, though. You're not going to win many games with her scoring just 5, are you?
Yeah, and it's frustrating because there's enormous post players that beat her up. And tonight, they decided to go with Naphesia Collier on her, undersized, send help, send bodies at her. But a lot of times just, it was, you know, Collier who used her quickness, and she's lengthy, but that's a different type of guard, you know, on her, a different type of post player guarding her than she normally sees. And we just kept thinking that was a matchup that we would like to exploit, and we couldn't get it done. And it's frustrating, and I know she'll be disappointed, but we're all disappointed because that's a matchup in her maturation, in her growth to become one of the dominant players in the league. Is she just flat can't let fours guard her in this league.
Are teams attacking your defense differently right now? Because that was such a strength for you guys during the 7-game winning streak, and lately teams seem to be finding open looks and shots.
You know, they're a talented downhill playing team, and one of the things that's underrated about them is they're tremendous screeners. They're one of the best screening teams in the league, and Odyssey and, you know, Danielle don't need a lot of help to create help defense flowing to them anyways because they're so fast. But they're a really good screening team. But again, we turned them over in stretches. We kept them off the foul line. We held them to 31% from the arc. We kept them in the low 70s. I mean, some of those points at the end are fouls. So, you know, they scored around 70 points. Most nights that's going to win. But we didn't have a good enough offensive night to counter that.
Curt, is there something that, is there some sort of frustration hangover right now from the road trip? Or do you think that's just behind you? And where does this team mentally right now?
Yeah, I think we're, you know, disappointed. You know, that's 4 in a row. Every game's a little differently, so there's no common theme. They're frustrated because they think they're talented enough to not go through this type of stretch. We've been 21-13 2 years in a row, but each one of those 21-13 seasons, we've gone through a rough patch. And was that an injury? Was that, you know, different situations each year? You know, we're now 1-4 since we lost Leja. I mean, like, she's our 6th starter. She's our toughness. You know, we were doubling with small guards on Sylvia Fowles. There's no one tougher, no one better at doubling than Leja. So we miss her. We miss her tempo. We miss being able to get Jasmine quality breaks. You know, and that's not an excuse. This whole league is dealing with injuries, and injuries won't be done. It's just the nature of what this league is about.
Curt, you had the big loss last week, a week off. What did you expect out of your team today, given as opposed to what you saw?
I saw the energy. I saw some competitiveness that I thought we would come back and fight with at home. You know, we've been the best home team in the last year plus in the league. Our crowd was insane tonight. Great. It was large. It was into it. It was loud. And I think that willed us too. You know, our core group of 5 starters right now, there's little room for error. We have to have good nights by them. We've got to get Courtney going and get her in the flow. We got to get JJ going, and all of a sudden you look up and you know, a few of your starters are low in points late in the game, and there's little room for error. We need all 5 starters to play well.
Speaking of Courtney, she's not the kind of person you want to throw brakes on, but she's taken a lot of wild shots. That comes with pros and cons. Is that what you want from her?
Yeah, I mean, she's one of the great shot makers in the world. She's one of the players that can make tough twos, but you don't want her to fall in love with the tough pull-up. But it's what her game is. We want her to get to the foul line more. She got there 6 times tonight and didn't get rewarded. She didn't reward herself. While we run plays to get her some pull-ups, we keep asking her to attack the rim. She was the old Courtney tonight, attacking the offensive glass though, and showed you why she was the best rebounding guard in the league last year. She was really competitive to the glass tonight, and that's great to see. She single-handedly can get us extra possessions.